If you're clicking on this video, you're probably wondering how I went from college dropout to making 5 figures per month at 20 years old. So I guess we'll start from ground zero. I attended CU Boulder for the past couple of years. Just finished up my sophomore year in May and officially dropped out. No longer a student as a sophomore. I was doing an English degree, but let me back up even further. Back to, I guess we can start in, honestly, like December of 2024. So I published the book December 9th of 2024. I guess I kind of wanted to be an author. I kind of wanted to follow in like Stephen King's footsteps, but I just published that book I was working on for about 5 months. It was a science fiction novel, called it Omnipotent. It's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I was totally burnt out. I was like, honestly, I do not want to publish another book right now for a long time. And I didn't really make any money off of it. So I had no idea what I wanted to do. All I knew is my English degree wasn't going to get me anywhere. So I was kind of trying to figure out what I should do. So I talked to my friend group that I found in November, all together with my friend Cam at the time, who moved to Miami to do different work. And this friend group kind of, they all had their own aspect about them. And I felt left out in a sense because they were all super successful young entrepreneurs, 20 to 25, absolutely killing it. When I met these guys, I was 19. And, one guy is doing what I do now. One guy's doing e-commerce, 7 figures a year at 21 years old. Another guy's doing Amazon. Another guy has a clothing brand. Another guy has a landscaping company. Another guy has a car detailing business. Like, another guy does sales. Like, all this stuff. I just felt left out. So I was kind of asking them, like, hey, what should I do? Because I'm kind of like the boring, unnecessary friend group of the bunch. Like, yes, I'm very ambitious. Yes, I have big dreams, but I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was still thinking about the military, too. So, long story short, they kind of convinced me to maybe get into copywriting. So I was like, okay, honestly, I'm a good writer. I'm doing an English degree. It makes sense. So my mentor I had who helped me publish my book, who's a Hollywood copywriter, editor, ghostwriter, publisher. He's based here in Colorado with me. He thought it was a great idea as well. So began a website in GoDaddy to do copywriting, and it didn't get very far. Got actually about a couple days. I was making I think I made about like 5 reels of content on Instagram about copywriting, and that was like the end of it. Anyways, in that time, I was watching videos from this guy named Ben Bader, and also Alex Hormozy. Like, I've been watching Alex Hormozy videos for the longest time, and I was kind of curious what he was doing, because all of these gurus online and teachers and everything tell you to not just listen to what these people say, but actually watch what they do. And Alex Hormozy, he was teaching business, but he was actually doing like scaling companies, right? From, I forgot, I think it was like 8 figures to like 9 figures a year, right? And I was like, wow, that's a very interesting, profitable business. And now he's a billionaire, right? So I saw that, and I was also watching Ben Bader's YouTube videos, and I kind of understood the model. I knew it was similar to SMMA, but I didn't kind of completely get it. Honestly, I was going into pretty dark. So after some convincing and not really understanding, I wanted to make some money because the only money I really had was financial aid from the school I was going to, CU Boulder, after I dropped out again in May of this year. Because of my dad's GI Bill benefits, they got passed down to me. I had ample financial aid from that and also from the school, so I just got like money back, and I also got like a monthly stipend to cover the rent of my shitty apartment, which I'm going to finally move out of in August, so 2 months now. Either going to move to Miami or Bali, still trying to figure that out. But anyways, looked into Ben Bader's mentorship, so I hopped on a sales call with one of his closers, and again, kind of understood it. Mostly just got wrapped into it because it was like an impulse buy, like I didn't want to feel left out from my friend group. So decided to do it. I spent a couple $1,000s up front, and then the rest of it I kind of financed on a firm. And that was that. So for the first month I started in January of this year. For the first month, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just kind of like going through Ben's modules in his courses, and I was like, oh, like I should do this, whatever. So I was sending Loom videos, I was sending outreach, I was doing something called a close friend story strategy to send outreach. doing content, and it wasn't really working. I was getting very discouraged, and I had shiny object syndrome. I wanted to quit already after like the first month and a half. Thought about doing a clothing brand. Again, I already did like a branded drop shipping clothing brand store a couple of years ago with my best friend. That didn't work out. Thought about doing drop shipping again. Thought about doing sales or just something else, because this clearly wasn't working after a month. So I didn't know what to do. But I just kept going, and I kept praying to God that He'd give me clarity and that I would find answers. And I did. One day in February of this year, a guy reached out to me on Instagram offering to sell me a funnel he builds them through Framer. And I was like, no, I don't need a funnel. I do copywriting already, because that's what I still identified as doing, because hadn't really thought that this whole business model would make anything of it, or I'd make anything of this whole business model. So I just still called myself a copywriter. He's like, hey, do you need a website? Do you need a landing page? I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need this. By the way, this was totally random. It was just like a super random outreach message. He was just trying to sell me. And long story short, we actually became business partners. So he was like, listen, I do this, but I'm looking to get into something called growth operating. I was like, oh shit, that's actually what I just bought a course about, like last month. And I've kind of been doing outreach about. And he's like, oh, no way. I'm looking for somebody to do content, do sales calls, help me with outreach, and also do the copywriting, because his English is just terrible. He's from Morocco, so so his English isn't great. I was like, that's actually perfect. Like, this guy has all of these case studies from clients he's helped. Keep in mind, he's worked with people like Marshall Cruz. He's worked with Brandon Clark. He's worked with Baby Stickley. Biggest creators, coaches, whatever you name it in the online space, he's probably worked with. So I was like, this is perfect for me. So began a 50-50 partnership with him. He was making money most of the time because he just sold landing pages for like one-time fees, $500, $600, $800, $200, like whatever it is. He was making cash left, right, and I was still living off of the nothingness I had, because that whole mentorship I bought from Ben Bader kind of just dwindled away in most of my savings, and I was living off of maybe $1,000 a month between after I spent $1,000 on rent at the shitty apartment and had food and everything. So I had to get a part-time job at a grocery store while I was kind of making this whole thing work at the time. But kept praying to God that it would work. I kept doing outreach. I kept making content. I kept doing this, kept doing that. And then March hit, and I was pretty discouraged. And it was pretty annoying that I still had this shiny object syndrome. I still had no faith in what I was doing. Didn't even really have faith in God or in the process. And I was just kind of hopeless. And I felt like I was wasting money and time. And I wanted to quit, but I still didn't. So I kept praying. And I found about this guy who I'm not going to share his name, because I'm just not going to, for privacy reasons. But he sold a mentorship as well, and I thought I needed more one-on-one help. So I bought into his course program for about $4,000, $2,000 up front. Rest of it I got financed over like a 4-month period. And he promised me a client, long story short. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make my money back at least with this guy, maybe even more, so it's worth the investment. That was my mindset going into it, and this was about March timeframe. Still have yet to get that client, so that's why I'm not going to share his name. But kind of wasted money with that. And then it wasn't until recently that Ben's group course coaching program thing has actually helped me out. It's actually very good for the kind of money that it is. It's there's a lot of value in there. So if you are looking to do what I do, I would highly recommend going to his program. I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm not going to sell you what I do. I just don't want to do that. I'm specifically targeting my ICP with every content form that I do, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. I'm not trying to help people do what I do. I'm trying to help specifically my target demographic of whom I'm trying to sell to. So if you're not that, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to help you. Still hope you enjoy the content though. But yeah, so bought into that mentorship, wasted my time, and spent about a month and a half setting totally stupid outreach, his method, and it just didn't work because my account, like my Instagram account, wasn't optimized because he had like 20, 30,000 followers. I had like nothing. So when I send an outreach message in his method, I don't look like an authority. So any of these people I send outreach messages to don't take me seriously. So it works for him, but it doesn't work for me. So I wasted about 3,500 leads, DMs, in about a month and a half, and nothing worked. I got a couple responses, but kind of just fell through. Bunch of no's, bunch of fuck yous. This one guy, who actually is my client right now, responded to it, was super against it at first, but we kept talking for months and months and months, and finally in the beginning of May I signed him. But we actually had some clients before that, so I'm going to tell you about that first, so let me backtrack again. I was thinking, since my business partner had these great relationships, building landing pages and funnels with some of the highest quality people, that maybe he can do some kind of referral system, and we did. So I was able to pick up some clients and work with them and finally grow my business from negative to 5 figures per month at 20 years old, working with some people. And it's been absolutely life-changing and amazing in the process. And really, I'm so thankful that I kept going. But I still had this scarcity mindset. Like, I was still just scared to lose everything. And I was still scared to just, like, you know, what if it isn't going to work out long term? What if this client or this client that I have right now just leaves? And I was so scared and still had no faith in myself or in the process, even though I would call myself a child of God and also my business partner too. I'm a Jew, he's a Muslim, but my views of religion are probably not traditional in terms of Judaism, but that's fine. That's besides the point. Anyways, it felt like divine intervention. My mentor who helped me publish my book came into contact with me one day in April this year, and he's like, hey, listen, I have VIP tickets to this event in Denver at the Gaylord Hotel. It's called the Final Percent event. You should come with me. Last minute, wasn't even going to go. I still had school at the time because, again, remember, school ended in May, so it wasn't until May that I dropped out or stopped school. So went to this event with him, skipped school, and honestly, it totally changed my life. It was a 3-day event. I went to all 3 days. I was only going to go to one, but said, fuck it, I'm going to go to all 3. And met some amazing, influential people with tens, hundreds of thousands of followers, millions of dollars, great influence, famous people who I do know, took pictures with, learned things from, gave me one-on-one guidance, and that forever changed my insight. There was this, I met Sharon Lecter, actually the real author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and she recommended, because she's on the Napoleon Hill Foundation, the best book for me to read is something from Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil, which is basically about drifting through life versus taking control of your life and having unrelenting faith in the mission of your future. Read this book, pretty long, decent sized book. Read it in 2 days, I was finished. Did the audiobook version as well, and that's even better because she annotated it. It was absolutely incredible. So if you're struggling with a scarcity mindset, you need to read that book ASAP. It changed my life. Total 180 in 2 days. No joke. So read that book, and all of a sudden I had this immense sense of clarity and gratitude and peace and satisfaction with what I was doing. And I was able to finally, after conversing with this client for months, from March or April, I was able to finally land him in May. And this client, he's in the relationship space, was bringing in about $100,000 a month in 2023. Before the space was pretty saturated and coach heavy, coach driven. Excuse me. And he didn't even have a team behind him. He was doing like no content. He had ads, but they weren't even great. So, and he still made that kind of money. But now that he has a team with me, doing all of his content, managing his offers, helping him acquire clients, have my team of ads guys, my team of editors and setters and closers and everything, he's printing so much money, and he's projected to do probably over $200,000 coming up soon. And with this guy alone, I am and will be making high 5 figures per month at 20 years old. And I'm just working with this guy right now. The past clients I was working with through referrals kind of fell through. It's like a short-term time frame, but that was fun. I still had enough money with him to kind of carry through. But this guy, our vision, me, my business partner, and him, are lasting through the long term. He wants me to move out to LA to really, I guess, kind of help him with his vision of helping other men long term. And that would be amazing. I mean, I'm not going to probably do that for a long time, but his vision is crystal clear, and he's an amazing person. He helps so many people, and he's helping me make a lot of money at 20 years old as well. So that's amazing. And I'm so grateful for God in the process of being there for me every step of the way, testing me, showing me the path to the light from the darkness. And honestly, I'm grateful to myself for just not giving up, because if this was a year or two ago, I would have long given up by now. Again, I started a branded drop shipping clothing store a couple years ago, quit that. I started another drop shipping store, quit that. Started SMMA, quit that. But now that I'm more mature, now that I have more time, and I realize that I'm not trying to rush things, it's helped aid in my success tremendously. And soon I'll be out of this shitty apartment, which I could barely afford a year ago, and I can finally afford a super nice apartment, honestly, wherever besides Monaco, or probably New York City. So I'll move somewhere cheaper for now, keep stacking up cash, keep working with clients and whatnot. And soon, I mean, honestly, I should be projecting, if I keep acquiring more clients, to make 100K per month by the end of this year at 20 years old, which is incredible. So I'm just beyond grateful. And Alex Hormozi said it best. I think I'm probably going to misquote him with this, but if you're in a rush, you're in pain. And you're in pain because you're in a rush. Which means, and I related to this very well, you want to get to the end result so fast because you're suffering. You don't want to do the dirty work. You just want to be at the end result. You just want to make that money. You want to live that lifestyle. But you have to understand that God's timing is perfect. It's perfect. And if you don't have the results yet, it's because He doesn't think you're ready. You have to put in the work. You have to suffer a little bit. You have to go through the process, understand everything, become a better man, a better woman, and come out the other side a changed person. And when God thinks you're ready, He will let you know, because He will deliver success in abundance into your life, just like He did for me. And I'm so grateful, and I know there's more to come in my life, because school wasn't for me, and this is. And I don't want to just be another info seller or growth operator, right? I want to reinvent the online space, and I'm going to do that. So if you're watching this video and you're still sticking with me after 3-4 years, watch the transformation. I'm going to be a totally different person. I'm going to be so high up in the online space. I'm going to help so many people only because of God and my ability to keep moving forward and not quitting. And the help of my business partner. And the help of the referrals I got from the high-level people that he's worked with. And that I've worked with as well. So that's it. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, it's that if you have a dream, if you have anything you want to accomplish, if there's any end result you want, if there's anything calling you from the bottom of your heart and your soul, or there's some kind of destiny that you need fulfilled, call on God. Ask Him for answers, and He will answer. And don't listen to the noise of people telling you that you shouldn't do this or that. We have one life. It's so short. You should love what you do. If you don't, what's the point of living? Because I love what I do. And yes, a great paycheck of 5 figures per month is incredible at 20 years old, and I'm so grateful for that. But it's not just that. It's the fact of how I can help change lives doing what I'm doing. Truly. If I kept doing e-commerce and I kept doing what I'm doing, sure, I'd probably make even more money by now because I've been doing it longer. But I'm just selling a cheap product online to people who don't need it. There's no fulfillment. There's no satisfaction. There's no purpose in that. What I'm doing, what I'm actively doing, is changing lives and helping people change lives and making money in the process. It's incredible. And I want to get to the point where I'm past Alex Hormozi, right? I'm not just another info scaler, acquisition, growth operator, right? I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to do my own things. because I have a vision beyond this that's much farther and wider and more vast than what I'm even doing right now. I don't want to be a Miami guru. That's why I'm not going to sell you a course. So if you want a good course onto doing what I'm doing, get Ben Bader's course. Like, his course is incredible. It's really, really good for the kind of money that it is. Not sponsored by Ben in any way. Like, this is, like, it's really good. And I didn't realize it until 3 months in, but the kind of value you get is valuable with what he's selling you. Do keep in mind, though, that you don't need a course of any kind. All the information, for the most part, that you're going to need to do what I do, or really anything, is going to be online for free. So absorb that content, take notes, learn, but don't learn forever. You have to take action. And that was a big hassle for me. I'm not going to get too much into this because this is getting long, but like, at some point you're going to have 80% knowledge. It's time you just do the work, because you're not going to get anywhere with any more knowledge if you just keep doing nothing. At some point you have to learn. Even if you have 20% knowledge, it's better than 100% and doing nothing. So learn a little bit, and then just enjoy the process. Enjoy life. Because money is a direct result of the inputs that you put in. It's the output of the inputs, right? It's just the end result. It's a mirror. It's the reflection of what you give out and what you do. You know, if I just had money and I wasn't doing anything to get that money, if I just won the lottery and I was getting 5 figures a month, like, sure, it'd be nice, but like, what's my purpose, you know? But I get to actively help people in the process of making this kind of money. It's incredible. So I praise God, and I'm so thankful to myself for doing this. If you want to do what I do, again, don't, like, I don't have a course, so I'm not going to sell you anything. I can't. I don't want to. But get Ben's course if you need a course. If you don't need one, just do it. Just learn for free. And don't give up, man. I was going to say something. Totally forgot. So I'm sorry, but I feel bad. That's a pain in the ass. I was going to say something so good, too. It's totally fine. Yeah. Life is good, man. Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the learning. And don't take life too seriously. Just don't. If you have a dream, go after it and sacrifice everything for it. Because, you know, what else is there? So, really, I appreciate you for listening. Again, this video is specifically probably targeted at you, but I'm mostly targeting with my content with Instagram, with X, and with YouTube, targeting my ICP, trying to help my ideal client profile. So you can definitely follow me and watch my videos, but they're probably not going to be much help for the most part. So if you do want good help, I would probably go elsewhere. But nonetheless, thank you again so much for watching. Thankful to myself. Thankful for you for watching. Thankful to God. I remember what I was going to say. If you do want to do what I do, it's probably going to take longer for you because you don't have the resources that I had. And I'm just going to be totally honest with that. Like, I had good referrals for some of the biggest people in the online space. You probably don't have access to that. And that's okay. It might take a little bit longer, but don't rush it, right? You're in pain. I get it. You want the end result, but just, it's going to take time. Keep working. Keep being consistent. Keep making the modifications necessary to succeed and change things and change with the market. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Glad I got that out. Yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a follow, like, subscribe. Subscribe, don't follow, because that's not a thing on YouTube. Comment if you have any questions. I should be able to answer them. And yeah, thank you again so much, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.